Hello everyone, and today we're going to show you how to run Star Wars Shadows of the Empire with controller support. Now the game doesn't officially support the controller, but it will launch, and it does have it doesn't officially have full controller support. It has what's known as partial controller support. So you can play it with a controller. But you can't do the on-foot sections with a controller because you're missing key buttons like the action button. However, we can restore this and get full controller functionality using Steam. So you can do this with the GOG version. What you have to do if you have the Steam version is easy enough. The GOG version, though, what you can do is you can add a non-Steam game on Steam. So you just go to games and add non-Steam game to my library. This will allow us to use a controller with the game. Then first of all, we're going to have to put Steam into big picture mode. We'll just hit continue here, and we'll boot Steam up in big picture mode because we're going to have to use the controller settings. So when we're in big picture mode, make sure you've got a controller connected. I have an Xbox One controller, as you can see with the control prompts that are on screen is A, B, X. So I've got that installed. So we're going to go to our settings here. And then we're going to go to controller settings and make sure that you pick the controller. You'll see the detected controller here is Xbox One controller. There. And again, we don't have to do anything with the layout, but what we're going to do is make sure we tick this box here. Make sure that you pick the box that's if you're connecting a PlayStation controller or a Switch Pro controller or generic gamepad. Basically, most gamepads are compatible with Steam. The DualSense, I think, is compatible now with Steam as well. So things like the DualShock 4, the DualSense, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series controllers. Not much difference between them and the Xbox One controller, to be honest. I don't know what the extended feature support. We need the driver installed for that, so we don't need that. So make sure you just tick Xbox configuration support. Again, this will just help when we download any sort of configuration files for the Xbox controller. The PlayStation controller should be the same, or the Switch Pro controller. These all should be the same, but we don't need the extended features of the Xbox controller. So we just make sure that we go into that, and we want to just go into our library, and we're just going to find Shadows of the Empire. You'll see it's got a little partial controller support there. You can see a game like Dirt 5, that's full controller support. And then Payday 2's got full controller. SWTOR is mouse and keyboard. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer apparently is mouse and keyboard. I haven't played that yet. I haven't actually played that. I bought both of these in the May the 4th sale. Decided to buy both of them because I didn't own them. There's only 2 Star Wars games that we didn't have. So we've got partial controller support here. And what we want to do is go to Manage Game, and then we want to go to Controller Configuration. And you can see I have already downloaded one here. This was by someone called Iron Balls McFist Punch. I admire that name. I chose that one because it seemed quite good. They've got the snow speeder and the on foot section. So this is one that someone's already pre-made. So what you can do is you can hit browse configs and you can go to community. And you can pick that one. Again, I picked, what was the one we picked? That one. I picked because it was pretty damn good. That guy's played this game a hell of a lot. 911 hours. Some people played it for 2,000 hours. Jesus, I only played it for 2 hours. So I picked this one because, I quite like that one. Pick whatever one you want. You can experiment with the community ones. You can make up your own if you want. But yeah, that is the one that I go with. I go with that one. Again, just pick it, and I think you wait when you choose it. You've got your global setting. That's just for the rumble options. That's the wrong one. I've hit again. So you can go into browse configs, and I just go to community. So you just click on that and click apply configuration. and it will apply it automatically for you. You can make up your own if you want, but this is just all the buttons. The joystick mouse is here. You've got like C's jump, I think. Left controls action, Y is the space bar, and A is the W, which was to fire the gun. In fact, no, A, that's not the on foot ones. You can see here how it changes to the on foot, and you press the back button to change the action sets. This one's pretty good. That's why I've just went with this one. And as you can see, what happens when went too far back. I don't like Steam Big Picture, to be honest. We can launch the game, and hopefully it'll work. Come on. I'll click play. There you go. There it is. And again, you can just go in and hit play here. And we'll just skip ahead. Access the Steam community while playing. You press the button on the controller and it'll load the config. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I'll skip all of this with the keyboard. We'll pick the first mission, shall we? The Battle of Hoth. Just to show you exactly what's going on. We'll skip all the cutscenes, shall we?
Rogue Group, we need to give our transports time to escape. Take out those Imperial probe droids.
And
Careful
as you can
not
see
to hit
here,
our own turrets.
the controller will work now, and we can change this to on foot or snow speeder with the back button. And now you get full controller support. The other thing that you have to do to get this game to run is enable 30 FPS mode here, because the game's frame rate, the game's speed is tied to the frame rate, and by default this will run at 60 FPS. And we don't want this to run at 60 FPS because that basically means that we will have twice the game speed. You can see here by the GPU is barely in use, running an N64 type game. I missed that one there. I really did miss that. So we're going to show you how to get the game running at 30 FPS. So we're going to exit the game just now because we need to run this frame rate cap here. There's two methods of doing it. One, we can use the graphics cards settings. We can use our graphics card menu. We'll get out of this, hit this escape a bunch of times, and we'll get out of big picture mode. So having big picture mode is decent there, because again it is worthwhile. So to set the frame rate cap, first of all we're gonna have to take a note of where we have the game installed. So just right click on it on the Steam library and go to properties, and just go to local files. And it says it's on drive H for me, and you can hit browse and you can see here. You can see exactly where it is. It's in H/Steam library /Steam app /common /Shadows of the Empire. Now, the main executable generally should be somewhere in here, and it is shadows.exe. It's in the S data folder. That one I think is just the launcher there. That sote.exe is just the launcher. But you've got shadows.exe is the main executable there for the game. So you want to see what that actually does. There you go. That brings us into the game there while we're in Steam. So what you want to do is we can either, if you've got Riva Tuner Statistics Server, what you can do is go into that there. And what you want to do is click Add. And again, find your folder. I've already done it here, and add the shadows.exe. It will be on this list somewhere. There it is. You can add sote.exe, but I wouldn't do that. Add shadows and frame rate limit. Just again, if you put it to 0, that'll be unlimited. It should be set to 0 by default. And again, what you want to do is set it to 30. Well, not 330. 30. And hit the return key there, and that will give you a 30 FPS frame limit. And as you saw by the frame time graph there, it is a very stable 30 FPS. You've got a nice stable frame time there. The other method for doing that is to right click on your desktop and open up the NVIDIA control panel. You can do this on your AMD card as well. AMD do have a setting. So you go to manage 3D settings, and then you go to program settings. And again, similar to Reaver Tuner statistic, it takes a bit of a while. So you've got, again, Shadows of the Empire, shadows.exe. What you do is you just click add here. And what it will do is it will bring up a list of programs. And if you've just ran Shadows of the Empire, it will be here. You can hit browse if you can't find it. And you can go to, go to the file location. Again, it's in H/Steam Library, Steam Apps. It's in the S data folder there, shadows.exe. Just remember that. So you just hit that, and then you go down to the max frame rate, and it should be use global setting, which is off. You turn it on, and once again, just hit 30 FPS, and then hit OK. And again, that should do something similar to Reaver Tuner Statistics Server. It should give you the consistent frame pacing as well. Running the game at 60 FPS, unfortunately, does not work. You can mess around with things like anisotropic filtering. You could force 16 times AF on if you want. You can force I think you can force FXAA on as well if you want better anti-aliasing. But these are some of the things that you can mess around with. No, I don't want to make changes to that. So other than that, the game runs pretty well. As you can see, when we ran the game, you can pick the resolution there. Again, I've just gone with 1440p. You can test the performance. I just leave everything here as default. Again, primary display driver, use Direct 3D. I don't think it runs in 2D. So other than that, it's a fairly easy game to run. I mean, you can mess around with the controller settings if you want. But if you want full controller support, because again, the game you can do like the Hoth level with a controller, but then you have to use the keyboard to like open doors and things like that. So you want to use a controller. Things like the jetpack apparently don't work later in the game. But you should be able to get this running. And it's a pretty good game, this is actually. It's a pretty good... pretty cool game, actually. Quite an underrated Star Wars game for the N64. We did live stream it on May the 4th. This video probably will go up after May the 4th. But anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.